I'd love to start with where and when did the idea for BARDO first come to you? How long have you been thinking about making this film?
Well, good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. Basically, I think it has to do a lot with an installation that I did in 2017, Carne y Arena. And I think around that time, 5 years ago, I think that project, I have the privilege to interview a lot of more than 500 immigrants, and I did this installation about these people crossing the border, and they open their hearts, their stories, things. So I think that immigration experience that I have, profound, 2 years took us to Manuel Lubezki and I to do this installation. I think that has a huge impact in me. And as an immigrant that I have been 21 years out of my country, I think it touched a lot of things and has to do with the age that I'm coming. And so it's like to clean the closet a little bit and to revise the reason how it's one year that was originally at the adventure became 20 years in 1 second, and the consequences and the things that you come into this very in-between state. You know?
So let's talk about the writing process. How did the two of you, Nicolas, work together, and how long did that process take?
It was like a 40-year therapy session for me.
Exactly.
No, I mean, we know each other for a long time, and we're friends. And I always say that every project that Alejandro invited me to participate was completely very different. The starting point was very different and very particular, and you sort of have to learn how to write that screenplay while you're writing it. Sometimes you get to page 60 of the first draft and you start to realize what's the thing that you're supposed to write, you know, a little bit. But basically we spent a lot of time together, and this was a very personal project, so I think that was the key, those weeks at the beginning that we spent together and finding what the film was and how those experiences were going to translate into what the film is.
And I don't think this film works without the right lead actor to take on this role. It's such a demanding performance, and you do it so well. Daniel, I'm curious, what was the first meeting with Alejandro like? How did he describe this film to you at that point?
The first meeting was, he was looking for an actor, and I think he couldn't find it. So I was like the last choice. Am I wrong?
The cheapest, let's put it.
Yeah. So, but it was funny because he never did a proper casting. He would only talk, we had a dinner and we talked for 4 or 5 hours. We drank a lot of mezcal.
Yeah, a lot.
And he was interviewing me about my life, the moment I was living now. And he was trying to find if I was like the character he was looking, no? And yeah, it's very, very, I like always to speak about, I told him about a guided meditation I did 3 weeks before, and I was telling him the images I had and everything. And then he was like, wow, it seems like you already read the script. That was one of so many magical coincidences that we had and that we are still having. And that was it. So he said, he's the guy.
What made him the guy for you?
I think, you know, we are from the same generation. Mexicans, we live in the same city. He is the last child of 6 siblings. I'm the last child of 5. And we share all this country at the same time. We have been 30 years married, both. We have 2 kids, basically the same age. We are in a kind of a journey, interior journey, I will say, very similar of what we are looking for, what is priority, what we are, you know, things. And I think that the interior life, I think that's what really unites us, you know. So I found that I know the skills of Daniel, which is the best actor in Mexico, so I didn't have any doubt about his actoral skills. But for me, it was more important for not only for him, but every cast member. I was interested that just putting the camera there, I know that the energy, the frequency, like when you sit with somebody that you connect or not, I knew that when I connect, it was that character. That made my life easy, and that was very beautiful, because I think then funny, each of the characters and the actor and the actresses, all of them, their stories were really similar to the situation of the characters, which was very surprising for me. So I think it's an intuition that I guide me, you know.
So, Anna, Martín, Nicolai, can you tell me when you first either heard from Alejandro or saw the script what you anticipate to be the most difficult part of your jobs on this one?
So the first time that they sent me the script and Alejandro and I had a conversation, the script for me, I mean, it was really challenging. It's a script that has this sort of crossroads, you know, that take you to two worlds of reality and dreams, and it has this sort of crazy turnarounds, you know, that made us, all the team, to be very demanding and in terms of creativity and imagination to create these characters. And I remember the first time that we talked, Alejandro mentioned that when he was imagining this film and writing the film, he thought about it in black and white. And then obviously he said that he didn't want to do that, and because it's not just only the Silverio's journey, it's also a journey, it's Mexico, and it's a country that it's full of color, and how we were gonna embrace that country to tell this story. And we all came to a conclusion that the journey was gonna be told through color, and that's why we chose to give a certain color to each of the characters, the main characters, and not just that, like, it was so complex that we didn't want to situate the film in a certain time. I mean, it's a story of a man and the memories, and as they're saying, they're about a 59-year-old man that has all these memories. So we have to also mix certain periods in the costumes to give this to the spectator to not really feel in any particular time. So we use period garments from all over, and in a very subtle way. And I mean, for me, it was really a pleasure working with Alejandro. He's one of the directors that really led all of us to collaborate in the process of the film, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
How about for the two of you, what did you anticipate to be most difficult about bringing this to life?
Alejandro himself, always. No, but as you know, I've been blessed by knowing Alejandro since we were kids, nearly 40 years ago, almost. So it's like a very old, long marriage, in a way. And I had the opportunity of reading the script before the pandemic, and I was, in my apartment reading in the sofa. I was saying, well, this guy has some balls, because it's so, so brave. Whatever is placed there, it's an openness of so many things. I'm very much related. I come from the same city, almost same area of the city, and same age. So a lot of things are, in a way, very similar. And coming from the background, doing previous films with him. But then, thank God for that, we found that a fresh look was needed, very much needed in terms of, sound concepts, and that's where Nico came. I had the opportunity of meeting Nico some years ago when we were doing
Hellboy 2.
Hellboy 2, yeah, for Guillermo.
So for me it was very different because, of course, Alejandro was for me a god, kind of. So when I've been in touch to work with him, it was a dream, And I remember the first, because I started to work on the film, I was in Paris, so we were organizing sessions where he was describing all the possibilities of the film, So normally some directors they close things, I want that, I want. And it was the opposite, It was an invitation to explore and to try to to go to a kind of labyrinthic process and try to in a very open way, try very different style, combine different ideas. So it was a fantastic journey, and so for me it's immense. I mean, like it's a life-changing experience. So yeah, it's it.
We're almost out of time, so I do want to wrap it up with you, Alejandro. This film does grapple and explore identity, and I'm curious if making this shifted anything in your own identity for you once it was complete.
I think, like the character said, my identity is no identity. I think I don't know how many of you have left your country for so many years and things, but you realize, I think what I realize, there's no conclusions, and it's not like a bad thing or a sorry thing, is that it's just to embrace the reality that once you do not stay in only one place and you go into this adventure and take the opportunity, which has been great in so many levels to be in this country, but at the same time, there's no matter what, there's contradictions and paradoxes and challenges and things, and then you find yourself again in this space that you are maybe too much, in Mexico, they consider me not now as I was or what they expect from me, and here I will not belong. And obviously your childs grow and your adolescent things, and you find yourself a little bit floating, like a tree without roots, kind of floating. I think what I have found is that I have to surrender to that and allow that to be the condition in order for me to happily and enthusiastically embrace the fact that I am not this or that, but I'm just becoming all the time. And I'm embracing that uncertainty in a good way, because that allows me the space to transform, to grow, to see things detached and with perspective, which I think is a great thing. And I found finally that the only thing that I can call a nation or my identity is my family. My family is my nation, and that's where I have found it. Like that is unconditional, and that they don't ask me for passports. So that's what I have found.
Well, thank you all for giving us a little of your time.
Thank you.
Please,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you.